Morning guys. Oh my god, where my camera is, it's like cutting off the top of my head. Morning. As you can see, I am in a car park. I'm starting a vlog in a car park, so that can only mean one thing. It is a pregnancy update. Excuse the state of me. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm already at the hospital, so you can appreciate why I look like this. Just a quick, obviously, intro. This is my 31-week pregnancy update, which is mad because this is basically, at this point in my pregnancy, they were telling me I was going home. I'd been in hospital for 24 hours. They were telling me I was going home, and it turns out I was basically transitioning in labour, and my baby would be born in about an hour and 14 minutes. So yeah, it's a bit weird. So it's the longest I've ever been pregnant and not labouring. So tomorrow will be the longest I've ever been pregnant, which is just mad. Or this afternoon actually, which is just mental. Like, actually filming this video is just mad. But so yesterday I didn't really have time to film. I had quite a few appointments, and obviously I was working, so I thought I would take the time now just before I go in. So I had my Ocean appointment yesterday morning, where they came to my house. We just had a chat around like how I was feeling. Obviously it was quite centered around the fact that I was exactly 31 weeks, and that's like a big thing. So we had a chat about that. Went through my birth plan, obviously, because there's a few things I'm hesitant about going back into hospital. And also we booked a couple more appointments in, so I've got one like follow-up where we're just gonna see how I am and see like about doing some breathing techniques, because obviously I didn't do any of that the first time. So yeah. And then the next one after that is a visit back to neonatal, which will be mad. If I'm still pregnant, I'll be like 34 weeks. So to go back at 34 weeks is just going to be mad. And the reason I'm going back to neonatal was because when I went last time, someone showed us round, and I'm like, well, I know what it does. I was here for 4 weeks. And I felt like I couldn't really immerse myself in like dealing with my feelings with it. So we've agreed that I'm going to go back and sort of, we're not going to get a tour. It's just going to be me sort of taking myself round and dealing with that. So we've got that coming up, which is good because obviously I need to deal with those feelings, and I'm hoping that will be like almost adding like the finishing chapter to like that journey, but I'm not sure how it's going to go, so we move. And then I went for my midwife appointment at 2 o'clock. Everything was fine. His heartbeat was great. My wee was clear. All my blood tests were clear. So like my iron was fine. I don't have diabetes or anything like that. But when she measured me, we actually thought from my last appointment he was going to go up. So I was measuring above the line, and she thought it was going to keep going up, so I'd have to have growth scans. So here I am for a growth scan at 8 in the morning. It's actually 8:25, but it's 8:05 now. And he's actually dipped, so he's gone down, so they wanted me to be checked. And now with my hospital, I have to be seen within 72 hours when it's like to do with growth. I think if they're slowing down, I don't know what the deal is if they were bigger. So I have to be seen within 72 hours, but because the scanning department only worked Monday to Friday, I had to be seen by today. And if I hadn't had a call, I would have had to have called and basically just forced them to take me in. But they called literally an hour after my appointment and said, could I get here for like an appointment at 8:25? And I said, yep, that's absolutely fine. So here I am. I'm about to go in. I really need to go for a wee. I also really need to do my parking. So I thought I'd do just a quick intro to give you an update from yesterday, and then obviously I will jump back on here after my scan and let you know what they say. I'm not particularly worried. I know at about 31 weeks I can create like a 4-pounder, so I think it'll be about 4 pounds, but I will let you know. And as we know, growth scans are not exactly the most reliable, but yeah, I'm gonna go in, see what they say, see what the advice is, everything like that. Tommy also has an appointment in a couple of weeks and I don't know where it is, so I'm going to take the opportunity to find out where that is after my appointment, so that will be good. So I'm not flapping when I'm bringing him in and I don't know where he is or where we've got to go. So yeah, I'm going to go in for my appointment now. Very luckily, my in-laws have agreed to have Tommy this morning, because obviously they couldn't give me an appointment on a day I already had childcare, could they? I had to do it on a day I'm on my own, and Adam was in the office, so I couldn't have even left Tommy at home to just quickly come to my appointment if Adam was working from home. But we move. They've very kindly got him now, and he was playing when I left, so yeah, I'm gonna leave him there. He's happy as Larry, so yeah, I feel better about that. It's like my mum was like, oh, are you like stressed about your scan? And I was like, not really, just the inconvenience it's caused. But yeah, I'm gonna go anyway because it's 10 past and I need to go for a wee, get to my appointment, which, you know, considering I'm probably the first appointment, they're probably gonna be running late anyway, but we move. But yes, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do my parking and catch up with you guys when I'm done, so I will see you in a bit. Guys, I thought I'd actually come back and actually finish this video. First up, let me apologise for my voice, because I am poorly. Yes, I'm not feeling too snazzy at the moment. I think I'll explain it all in a minute, but I think I got a bit run down, and I've just picked something up, to be honest, and yeah, I'm not feeling too snazzy, but I wanted to come on and actually finish this video because this is actually a really like important video. Sorry, I feel like I've got lip gloss on my teeth, but I don't. Yeah, this is a really important video for me anyway, so I was like, oh, I really want to come and like finish it. So please excuse the voice, and please excuse that it's probably now over a week later since since the last clip, where I went for a growth scan. But yeah, it was late, and then I had to come back for Tommy, and then obviously I had Tommy, so I didn't really want to film. So yeah, and then this week's just been a week, which I will get into. But first up, let's just celebrate. I've actually officially made it past 31 plus 1. I'm actually now 32 plus 2, I think, when I'm filming this. So that's amazing. I have made it past like the longest I ever have. This is the longest I've ever been pregnant, which is just amazing. So yeah, I'm thrilled with that. So anything I feel now, I'm not used to feeling, because I'm like, oh, by now I had like a week old. But yeah, it's just mad. But first up, the growth scan was fine. They done everything, like checked everything, checked like the blood flow through my cord, checked the heart, everything. Checked like his legs, his arms, his head, his torso, all of my like fluid they checked. Can't remember what else they checked. They checked everything. They didn't tell me how much he weighs, or they think he would weigh. But it was around that. I think when I had my scan I was like 31 plus 1. Yes, I was. So it would be, I forgot where I was going with that. It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, no, I was 31 plus 1, so
let's be honest, he would have weighed like £4-ish. Also, I still have my like baby shower gift baskets here. They're just a nice little backdrop, and I'm still trying to empty the nursery to put these up there and actually have them put out nicely. So yeah, they're just here for my little background at the moment. But I thought I would show you the scan pictures, probably not the one that Tommy's absolutely annihilated. But let me cover up my hospital number because no one needs to see that. But there he is. So there's his like head, his nose and his lip, and that's his knee. He had like his knees up towards his face. At that time he was transverse, and his head was like this side and his feet were this side. But everything was fine. He was moving, absolutely perfect. And then I had my like 31/32 week consultant appointment where I was actually fully ready to like sign myself off and discharge myself from consultant care. But it didn't happen, but I'll get into that. First up, it was a very stressful experience because I couldn't get parked for ages, so I was nearly late for my appointment. My parking space couldn't have been further away, which was just, you know, as a pregnant woman as well, waddling along to your appointment, and it was completely the other side of the hospital, and yeah, it was just, oh, so I was a little bit like wound up. But I got there on time, sat down, and they were about 45 minutes late for my appointment, which is what it is. You know, if I'd have been late, they'd have been on time. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna harp on. I understand the stresses that they're going through, but we move. So I went in and we had a chat. She said like, how am I feeling? Done all like the blood pressure and everything, all fine. So like I said, I'd actually decided, because I'd made it past like what I was with Tommy, if she offered me the chance to be discharged, I was going to do it. But when she scanned me, he is now breech. He's probably moved already. And Tommy was breech, but I gave birth to him naturally, vaginally, and he was breech. So she said she wanted to keep me on and see me at like 36 weeks to see if he's turned, and if not, then we obviously need to come up with a plan, which is fine. So that took that decision out of my head. And then she was like, how have movements been? And I was like, yeah, usually they're fine. This morning they've not been like as frequent. But I said like, it's probably because I'm a bit stressed, coming from the parking situation, all of that. And she was like, oh, okay, well, we'll do a little quick scan on you. Which was when they found out he was breech, obviously. We'll do a quick scan because usually that like wakes them up a little bit. So we done that, and he just wasn't playing ball. Like, obviously his heart was beating and everything looked fine, but she was like prodding him and he just wasn't like playing back. Usually he does. So usually if I have like the heartbeat listened to or I have a scan, he's very much like, yeah, go away guys, go away, and he'll like touch, and he just wasn't having any of it. So she said, I want to send you upstairs just for some monitoring for like 20 minutes, half hour. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, it's not a problem, let's go. I think that was about 11:30 maybe. I had to go up, so I rang Adam. Well, she rang up, so they knew I was coming, so that was great. I rang Adam and said, like, they're sending me upstairs. I had to ring my boss because it was a day I was working, and my boss was only aware that I had like my consultant appointment. So I just thought, you know, I'd be a decent employee. And so I rang her and said, like, this is what they're doing. She said, don't worry, take your time. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So went in. When I went in, I was the only one in there. Oh, let me tell you, it did not stay that way. Yeah, so when we went in, I was the only one. Took ages to find his heartbeat, and when we did, he wouldn't move because I couldn't feel him moving. It was really weird. Or he might have moved. I'm wondering if it, because he was breech and he's looking towards my back, I couldn't feel the movements. So he kept like the nurse on her toes. So it kept just like dipping in and out. And I think you have to have a certain amount of time where you can get a clear full trace for them to like say you've met all the criteria. So obviously that made me longer. He still wasn't like moving properly. I would have said I had like a couple of movements where I was like, I think that was him. But I met the criteria. But then the nurse was concerned because you have to wear like the pulsometer. She was then concerned that my pulse was too high. So apparently it should be anything up to 110. And mine was at like 129 and wasn't really coming below 115 at all, even when I was relaxed. And like I'd had a drink and I'd, you know, had a snack. It just wasn't coming down. So she was really concerned about that. So they get me hooked up for a bit, and then they said, look, it's not coming down, we're not happy to like let you go home, so we want to do an ECG on you. So I was like, okay, I've never had one before. So I said, that's absolutely fine, like let's do it. But then obviously you had to wait around to find someone to do it. Before we had to wait for like a doctor to come and see me, talk through everything again, and then we had to talk about what the plan was. So then I was having the ECG, then we had to find someone to do my ECG that could do it, because the doctor that came to speak to me got called away to someone else. So then we had to wait for someone to come and do an ECG. And then once that'd been done, she told me to leave all the stickers on in case it needed redoing. So then we had to wait for someone to read the ECG. Trying to find a doctor to do that was like literally a joke. And in the meantime, like this triage bit had got so busy. So I was like, please let me give up my bed, because I'm not like being hooked up anymore. Like I just want to give my bed to someone else that's waiting. And like one of the women that were waiting, like her waters, they were querying if her waters had gone. The woman in the bed next to me was quite clearly in labour, which just freaked me out. I know I've done it before, but I was like, I'm not in that headspace yet. Like I need you to just no, stop. Please go downstairs to the delivery suite, which they sent her to. And then like there was another woman, I think she was like 20 weeks, was bleeding, and I was just like, look, like just take my bed and I'll just sit on the sofa whilst I'm just waiting for someone to come and talk to me. So I gave up my bed and I had like a drink and a cup of tea, and I think I got a sandwich in the end from their fridge. So I just sat there with one of the like patients' parents, I think, and they were lovely. So then I had to wait. I was still waiting for the doctor to read my ECG. And I think in a sort of circle of events, it actually ended up being read by my consultant that I'm under for having a premature baby. So she read it and said, it's absolutely fine. But in the meantime, the original doctor had come back whilst just before my ECG was about to be done, and done a blood test for, I think it's hyperthyroidism or something, because that can cause a high pulse. So I haven't had the results for that yet, and by the time this goes live I probably wouldn't have. So I will keep you posted either on here or on my Instagram about that. So what should have been a sort of 10 to 15 minute appointment at 10:30 meant I walked back through the door after leaving at 10 to 10 to get to my appointment, to get parked. That's the joke, that's how early I have to leave. My hospital's 10 minutes away. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a drink. I walked back through the door at 20 to 4. Which I was knackered, as you can probably imagine. I do find that place really draining. I don't know whether it's like just a me thing, because obviously like the trauma I attached to the hospital, so I don't know whether that drains me, or whether I just find it an incredibly draining place anyway. Let me know in the comments if anyone else, like when they go in to be like checked over and stuff, do you feel the same? Like, or is it just me? So yeah, he's fine at the moment. He's not coming. I'm not in labour as far as I'm aware. I'm the most pregnant I've ever been, which is just like, I literally can't, when I sit there at night time and we're like watching TV and I look down, I'm like, oh shit, he's still in there. Like, what is this life? But now I probably should pack my hospital bag because I haven't actually done that, so I should probably do that. I might do that today. But yes, that was sort of the drama-filled week of being 31 weeks. So I might not have given birth, but it was definitely a little bit dramatic. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else I had to update you on. I don't think there is. But yeah, you know, everything's fine at the moment. I have to keep an eye on my pulse. I have a at home pulsometer thing, so I check it. It was a bit high yesterday, and if like obviously it goes too high, or if I get heart palpitations and I can't like breathe, I have to go straight back. But I've been fine. I obviously just can't breathe at the moment because of my like cough and being a bit poorly, but I'm not too worried. So yeah, everything's fine. I'm not in labour. There's no indications of me going into labour just yet. That could be famous last words, who knows. But, you know, I just think, you know, I'm taking each day as it comes at the moment. I'm the most pregnant I've ever been, and I'm very thankful for that. And, you know, hopefully this is just one step closer to getting the, like, birth experience that I want and missed out on last time. Obviously I know I can't completely plan for like the perfect experience because it's really out of my hands, but you know, I'm just gonna hope for the best. And you know, after I film another video, I'm gonna start bringing my hospital bag bits down and start getting that done, because I probably should do that so that it's ready. I will film that in a separate video. So I will probably pack it and then like film what I've packed rather than filming me packing it and then talking through it. It just seems like extra long that way. And also if I pack it off camera, if I've forgotten anything, I've got time to go and get it. But my next sort of pregnancy update after this one will more than likely be in a couple of weeks, because I have a 34 weeks. Yeah, I have a 34-week midwife appointment. I have an ocean appointment, and I have the health visitor coming to visit for the baby, not for Tommy. So that'll be a good little, and they're within like 2 days of each other. So I think that'll be a good little video to give you another update. If I'm still pregnant, who knows, you know, with my womb and uterus, who bloody knows. But yeah, I thought I would just come on, give you an update of sort of the dramas of the last week. And if there are any other updates, then I will either post them in a video on here or post them on my Instagram. If you don't follow my Instagram, do go and give it a follow. It's just in the description box. It is At Home with the Hodgsons. That's where I post most of the stuff about like Tommy and the baby and stuff. So definitely go and give me a follow there. But yeah, I'm gonna go because my voice is hurting and this is becoming a really long update and I've still got another video to film, so I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this little pregnancy update. I will hopefully catch you in my next one where I'm about 34 weeks. But thank you for watching. If you did like it, please do give it a like and a comment and consider subscribing as well. I would really, really appreciate it if you could do that. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.